Good evening and welcome to tonight's Chamber Night at the Rogers City Council. I'm Angie Tucker Ridley, this year's chairman of the Chamber Board. Thank you for attending tonight's event. We especially want to thank the elected city officials, the appointed commission members, and city staff members for the commitment and effort they give to our community. They deserve a round of applause. The Chamber salutes the positive impact each of you has on our community. We have seen tremendous job growth throughout the city in 2019, and things are not slowing down moving into the new year. From the amazing progress we see downtown to the astonishing growth and development in the Pinnacle Hills region, the partnership we enjoy with the city is something we are extremely proud of. Working with the City of Rogers, the Rogers Public Schools, and the community and business leaders, the Chamber created and unveiled Vision 100. We look forward to implementing the programs and plans laid out in Vision 100 to make Rogers and Lowell an ideal place to live, work, and play in 2020 and beyond. The Chamber has made a concerted effort to engage all members of our community and has begun and will continue to implement programs dedicated to making our communities as inclusive and welcoming as possible for current and future residents. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, which includes Visit Rogers and Downtown Rogers, Inc., we thank you for all that you have done and for the future plans you have in place for the city. Going forward, the Chamber will continue to strive to be a good partner and to share the perspectives of our business members with you. We will continue to encourage our Chamber members to stay involved in and informed so that we can share what we learn as we go. We will encourage our members to engage, to volunteer, and to be a part of the support system for you. And finally, please join me in recognizing our sponsors who help promote the involvement of Chambers members in local governments in this event. The presenting sponsor is Nabholz Construction. The gold sponsors are Beaver Water District, Cadell Construction, Craft and Toll, Height Jackson Associates, K-Mac Catering and Golden Corral, McClellan Consulting Engineers. And our silver sponsors are Cox, Cushman Wakefield Sage Partners, Printova, and ServPro. And with that being said, I'd like to welcome our Mayor, Greg Hines, as he gives the State of City address. Thank you.
So before I go on to the prepared remarks, I got to give a little preamble that's off script, mainly because there's so many things you can't put in a speech that you try to keep under 20 minutes when you're living in one of the fastest growing places in the country. But while I was getting ready tonight, I started thinking about, what makes this job the greatest job? What makes this role as mayor in the city of Rogers in particular the greatest city to be mayor of? And one of the things that comes top of mind is a body that I served 12 years on before this role, and that's the Rogers City Council. I talk to mayors all over this country, certainly all over the state, on a monthly basis, and none of them have the opportunity and the experience to have such a great relationship and a mutual deep respect for just doing the right thing and doing the people's business. And so for that, I want to congratulate all 8 of you and tell you how deeply I appreciate being able to serve alongside of you during this time of growth in Rogers. So thank you personally from me for that. So good evening, members of the Rogers City Council, Honorable City Attorney Andrew Hatfield, Honorable Judge Chris Griffin, city directors and employees, and my fellow citizens here and online. Thank you for joining us tonight for the State of the City Address. I'm honored to stand before you all tonight as we celebrate the accomplishments and the progress made in the City of Rogers over the past year. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce CEO President Raymond Burns, his staff, and the Chamber Board of Directors for coordinating the reception this evening. I'd also like to thank my wife Lisa and our daughters Emily and Haley, as well as other members of my family that are here present with us tonight. This evening marks the 10th State of the City address that I've given, and as always, I'm grateful to stand before you and share how Rogers has flourished and has become a more sustainable community. In 2019, employment in the city of Rogers grew by over 2,200 jobs, which is a 6.2% increase over the previous year. The current unemployment rate in Rogers is 2.2%, which is well below the national and state average of 3.6%. Sales tax collections in Rogers amounted to over $20 million in 2019, equaling a 5.32% increase since 2018 and a 78% increase from just a decade ago. Since 2011, the City of Rogers has increased the unrestricted reserve fund by 156%, while lowering property tax rates twice in the same time period. All of the accomplishments noted this evening would not be possible without the loyalty and trust of the members within our community and their decision to raise their families in a city where possible lives. In 2018, the City of Rogers passed a $300 million bond issue in order to improve police, fire, parks, and transportation services. Since then, our departments have been working tirelessly to check off each of the promises associated with the 2018 bond issue. I'm fortunate to lead the motivated individuals of each department within this city, and I want to take a moment to highlight some of their accomplishments in 2019. The Rogers Police Department selected an architect and construction management firm to construct a new emergency dispatch center. This project is a direct result of the 2018 bond issue and will provide a state-of-the-art facility that is capable of withstanding severe weather threats, thus maintaining the nerve center of the city. As the design phase is wrapping up, we are expecting to break ground on the center next month. The Rogers Police and Fire Departments joined the AWIND radio system with funds from the 2018 bond issue. The AWIND radio system is a state-of-the-art digital communication system that we are very proud to be a part of. The construction of the new emergency dispatch center and upgrade to our radio system is essential in order to provide quick response times, efficient communication capabilities, and the appropriate safety measures for our police officers, firefighters, and community. In 2019 alone, the Rogers Central Dispatch answered over 94,000 calls for service. While responding to almost 56,000 total calls and incidents, the Rogers Police Department was still able to maintain a clearance rate of over 90% of all crimes reported against persons, which is nearly double that of the national average. With the increase in public service and demand, 10 new officer positions were added to the Rogers Police Department in 2019-2020. Along with the increase in personnel, 9 officers were promoted to various ranks throughout the year. The Rogers Fire Department continued to provide first-class fire and emergency medical services to our community, and is continuing to enhance this level of service. 2020 will usher in the new construction of facilities as approved by voters in the 2018 bond issue. Among these new facilities are the burn building and classroom expansions at our training center, in addition to the construction of Station 8. Proper training facilities are vital to ensuring the safety and success of our firefighters. The fire department hosted the first organized burn in the new burn building February the 7th. The burn building provides a safe, controlled learning environment for our firefighters. Construction has begun on Fire Station 8, located along West Pleasant Grove Road between Rainbow Road and Highway 112. This station will help maintain our quick response times for those residing in West Rogers. In addition to new facilities, the fire department was awarded a federal grant of nearly $250,000 to replace patient cots in our ambulance fleet. This allows for a significant improvement in both patient and responder safety. The Rogers Fire Department managed the retirements of 9 veteran firefighters, including 2 chief officers in 2019. In order to replace personnel and staff the expanding facilities, the fire department hosted 2 18-week fire academies and hired 16 new firefighters. The Rogers Executive Airport in 2019 marked a year of planning and preparation for future expansion. The region's dynamic growth has led to a significant increase in demand for aviation infrastructure and services. To meet the growing demand, the Rogers Executive Airport completed a new $2 million taxi lane apron in January. Robust demand for hangar space continued in 2019 as the airport complemented strategic planning and preparations for the future expansion. The airport hopes to ultimately accommodate some 125,000 square feet of additional hangar space with the planned expansion. The first phase of construction is slated for this year, and we will focus on providing taxiway access and supporting infrastructure. The Rogers Public Library continued to serve our community well, circulating approximately 390 items, serving nearly 200,000 visitors, and issuing over 2,800 new library cards. The library staff saw a 30% increase in use of downloadable and streaming books, audio books, magazines, music, and video in 2019, and a total of 96,000 circulations. The Rogers Library takes pride in the extensive involvement within the Rogers community and the free resources it provides to our citizens. Last year, the library offered almost 950 programs to the public, and just under 34,000 total persons attended. Among these programs, Books and Brews celebrated its one-year anniversary, and Cookbook Club was established. The library also participated in the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. Rogers Parks and Recreation is beginning construction at the Rail Yard Park and Mount Hebron Park after wrapping up a design phase in 2019. Mount Hebron will be the first major park located on the west side of town and will consist of trails, courts for tennis, pickleball, and basketball, fields for baseball, soccer, pavilions, a splash pad, open space, and a destination playground. This playground will be all-inclusive and the largest of its kind in the region. Rogers Parks and Rec is also working with community development and Ross Barney Architects to construct the redesigned Frisco Park through a Walton Family Foundation Design Excellence Program. After a robust community outreach effort and survey process, we're excited to see the revitalization of this part of the historic downtown. In addition to these major projects, our local trails and connectivity are continuing to improve within Rogers. Parks and Rec added 9.1 miles of side path to our trail system and welcomed nearly 550,000 trail users in 2019. Our staff also added 285 bike parking spaces throughout the trail system, and our Adopt a Trail program continues to grow as we welcomed 4 new participating partners this last year. The Rogers Historical Museum celebrated the one-year anniversary of the completion of the Haley Building and expansion of the museum on December 13th of last year. In this past year, museum visitation totaled over 87,000. The staff at the museum offered various educational programs to our community, including our most popular children's program, Rocky Branch One-Room Schoolhouse. In this program alone, our staff was able to educate over 33,000 students. The museum also ended 2019 with the hire of a new museum director, Serena Barnett. Barnett previously worked on the staff of the museum in the early 2000s, and we are very pleased to welcome her back. The Rogers Historical Museum is currently planning and preparing for the year's events, exhibits, and programs, as well as those for the upcoming 140th anniversary of the City of Rogers in 2021. The James R. Welch Recycling Center recycled over 2,000 tons of glass, plastic, and paper in 2019, saving valuable space and extending the life of our landfill. The Recycling Center's event recycling program was used for 18 events in 2019, 2 of which of these events had over 5,000 in attendance. Through the partnership with the Benton County Solid Waste District, Rogers Recycling Center has expanded the items that can be properly disposed of, including household hazardous waste, bulky waste, tires, and other items. The Convenience Center has received over 7,800 loads of material, which include over 3,000 tires, 6,600 pieces of electronic equipment, and other items that are hazardous to our environment. During and after the October tornado that devastated a path through our city, the street department responded in such an amazing way. From working alongside electric and gas crews to open streets that allowed crews to access areas blocked by debris in an attempt to restore power and gas service, to literally going house to house, picking up storm debris. They worked overtime and weekends for months and demonstrated the best in public service. They helped restore a sense of community very quickly in the wake of the tornado. They were even able to inspire and recruit a few members of the Parks Department to join them in the cleanup and the long hours along the way. The city's Community Development Department continues to adapt and plan for the substantial increases in development and the growth of Rogers. There's currently over $250 million in private capital investment projects under construction or in the pipeline. In 2019, the Planning Division managed and approved a record-breaking amount of development activity, including 503 residential lots. The department oversaw, get this, 1.4 million square feet of commercial space under construction in Uptown Rogers. This exceeds the construction activity in the central business districts of Oklahoma City, Kansas City, and Tulsa. The Community Development Department processed 54 large-scale projects, 12 small-scale, and 50 rezone requests, each of which involving the Planning Commission and City Council decision-making. Construction on many of the public works projects approved by the voters for the 2018 bond issue, such as street improvements, took place in 2019, including the construction of the Razorback Regional Greenway Trail enhancements, Magnolia Street overpass, the Northern Loop Trail at 8th and Easy Street. Construction is currently underway to improve Walnut Street and I-49 interchange, as well as the construction to form the connection on Pleasant Grove Road from Rainbow Road to Highway 112. As construction and development progresses, as does the need for additional transportation opportunities within our community. The Community Development Department oversaw improvements to the Ozark Regional Transit Services that provide zero fare access and on-demand transit options in a route network restructured for increased efficiency and ridership. Riders now have two options of transportation: a fixed route connecting downtown Rogers to uptown Rogers, or an on-demand route that riders may schedule from various stops within the city through a mobile app, website, or a phone call. The Rogers Animal Services continue to maintain a 100% live release rate in 2019 and sets this standard as the expectation for the year of 2020. Due to progressive animal control, the calls for services at the shelter decreased significantly in 2019. The staff at the Rogers Animal Shelter provides the best care for our local animals and continues to stay up to date on the most trending ways to publicize adoptable animals, primarily through social media channels. Due to their innovation, the return to owner and adoption rates remain very high. The Adult Wellness Center continues to serve as the most valuable amenity provided to the 50-plus community in our entire region. In 2019, the center offered 305 different fitness, educational, and recreational classes, and of those classes, 165 new classes were created and added to the curriculum. In 2019, new members totaled over 1,000, and the center recorded over 260,000 member visits. On average, approximately 900 to 1,400 people utilize the facility each day. The Adult Wellness Center had over 11,300 recorded volunteer hours in 2019, serving in areas such as the front desk, data processing, the library, the garden, class leadership, and volunteer instructing, along with all the external benefits we extend to our community. We take pride in benefits we provide to the employees of our city. The city's self-insured health plan has increased by an average of 5% over the past 5 years, in comparison to large fully insured plans which typically have increased from 8 to 10% annually. Through the efforts of the Human Resource Department, I was able to sign an agreement with Mercy Lifeline in February that provide all City of Rogers employees and their families full emergency air transportation coverage when flown by a Mercy aircraft. As you can see from these accomplishments, it's an exciting time to live in the City of Rogers, and I'm honored to serve as your mayor. On behalf of the city staff, elected officials, and members of our various boards and commissions, we look forward to continuing to serve you. May God continue to bless the City of Rogers, the state of Arkansas, and the United States of America. Thank you.